My name's Jenelle Riley. I'm the film and TV editor at Backstage, and I'm so honored to be here today to introduce one of the best actors working in cinema today. Since 1992, when he appeared in the international hit Hamon Hamon, Javier Bardem has continued to deliver captivating, entertaining performances in films such as The Sea Inside, The Dancer Upstairs, and of course, Before Night Falls, for which he was the first Spanish actor to receive an Academy Award nomination in that category. He can currently be seen on screen in two very different films, Mike Newell's Love in the Time of Cholera, and as the unstoppable killer Anton Chigurh in the Coen brothers' No Country for Old Men, in which he will go down in cinema as the scariest character to ever sport a Prince Valiant haircut. So please join me in welcoming Javier Bardem. I'm going to warn you in advance, I flunked Spanish my freshman year of college, so if I completely butcher somebody's name, please correct me, but I will do my best. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much.
I want to start at the beginning. You actually come from a family of artists. Mm-hmm. Can you sort of tell everyone about your family background?
Do you hear me when I talk like this? Yeah. Well, first of all, it's amazing to be here for me. I can't believe. You are all actors?
Yeah.
Wow. That's the most wild audience ever. An actor talking to another actor. Well, my family comes from a long, long distance. I mean, the parents of my grandparents were actors in the time where actors were not allowed to be buried on a sacred land because they thought they were prostitutes and homosexuals. So it was hard times for them. And I think for actors, it's been always hard times in somehow. But yes, it comes from there. And my mother is an actress, a very well-respected and beautiful actress, that she loves what I do, whatever I do, wrong or right. She'll always say, "You are great." She's my mom, and that's what a mom should be, supposed to be. My uncle was a director, a very famous director that worked a lot against the Franco regime and actually spent years in jail because of that, putting out movies, really very social movies in a time where you could barely shoot anything. And actually, there's a movie that he shot while he was in jail. And it won Cannes Film Festival. And my brother is not an actor also. My sister used to be an actress. She's one of those cases that having the talent that she had and she has, once she thought it's not worth it, and she chose to do some other things, which now she's very successful. She has a great family. She has a bar, a restaurant with the most amazing croquetas you can ever try. And then it's me, who is the little boy of the family, one day saying, "I would like to be an actor," and everybody's, "Shh, don't say that." But here I am.
And is it true you made your film debut at age 6?
Yeah, with an amazing person who died recently, a week ago, Fernando Fernán Gómez, which he was an actor, writer, director, and the first actor in Spain who belonged to the Royal Academy of Arts, where all the amazing writers belongs to. And he was my mother said, when she went to the funeral a week ago, there in the coffin, there is our dignity. There stays the actor's dignity, because he really embodied that. Because people, I think, have this idea about actors that are truly funny, which is like we are kind of lazy bastards, that we don't know how to do anything else but perform, which is a very easy thing to do. But I think that's not appropriate, and he showed that through his work. And yes, he was directing a TV series, and then I was playing there on the set because my mother was working, and then he said, I need a boy. And then my mother said, okay, here's my son. And I was there, and he told me, a man with a gun is gonna show up, he's gonna point at you, and you're gonna scream and cry. And then he said, action, and I laughed. Ha ha ha. And he said, much better, much better. That's good. And then I realized in that moment that I don't get along well with the actors, man. I always do what I want.
So you were interested in acting, but you didn't really pursue it at first.
No, because I guess it's living in the inside of a woman who was my mother, raising 3 kids, being an actress. My parents were separated when I was basically born. 3 years after I was born. Being an actress, I saw the darkness of it. I saw the dark times. I saw the unemployment. I saw the fucking hard times of a woman doing everything, cleaning steps, stairways, doing everything just to get some money, and the pain of an actor, of an employee actor who doesn't have an audience to really show his work, his art. And I saw that and I said, I don't want that for myself because it's very painful. But then I studied painting. I went to Bellas Artes to keep on painting, and little by little I started working as an extra to get some money to keep on painting. And then one day they gave me a role with a few lines, and I went there to say the lines. I said, I don't care, I just want the money to keep on painting. And then I was freaked out, I was shaking. And then I realized, I understood the responsibility of being there and saying a couple of lines. Mm-hmm. And lucky enough, the same director called me afterwards and gave me a bigger role. And then my mother told me, I don't know what you want to do with this, but if you want to do it, you have to prepare yourself. And then I came into an acting school just to try to, to deal with the fact that I should do that I have to do that, and I just want to save my ass in somehow. But then I discovered the whole thing of researching, of the pleasure of being on a school, learning, and really I found there what I didn't find through the painting, which is the pleasure of really expressing yourself and letting yourself go. And not because you think it's worth it or you think you are worth enough to be watched and listened, but because you need it. And then I was hooked. I was cut.
And was this before or after Jamón Jamón?
That was before. Jamón Jamón would be the movie, the first time that I had the responsibility of doing a role, that I took it with me. And
can you tell me sort of how that role came about?
Well, this director did a movie called The Ages of Lulu, Las Edades de Lulu, where I have to play this sadomasochist that have sex with women, men, chicken, rabbits, everything. And then at the end, he has a very hard scene on a whorehouse where he's killing a woman, a client, while in the meantime, the whorehouse owner, which is my mother, screams at me, don't kill her, don't kill her. That was my debut. So I was there on my underpants, with this, it was great outfit, with these panties, and all sweat, almost naked, killing a person, and my mother screaming, don't do it. I was like, oh my God, this is my debut. And I guess I did it well, and the director called me later and said, okay, I have another role for you, but this time it's gonna be a protagonist. And that was the time where I started to get into the acting school, and it was great. I think I was 20 years old, so the first experience is always good if you're lucky enough to have it with a great person, like Big as Luna, a director who really shows you the love and the passion for what we do, instead of being a tyrant. If in that moment, that director would have been more kind of hard on me or more impulsive, or then maybe I would have quit, because I wasn't in love with the profession. But because he really showed me the pleasure of it, the joy of it, I fell in love.
So there was no audition for Jamón Jamón?
I did one audition, yeah. I did one audition, and the audition was basically me on the room, and the director told me, would you please take out your shirt? And I took out my shirt. And
one of those.
And then, and I was like, all right. I was in a hotel room, and it was just he and me, and I was like, okay. And said, okay, now scream, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, more, I'm gonna kill you, okay, good, that was good, done, you got it. So, okay, what is this film? So, that was a very weird audition.
Weren't you also a rugby player
Yeah.
at the time, and you tried to continue playing after that?
Yeah, look at that, I'm shaking.
Caffeine or nerves?
Nerves.
Wow. You guys are the people who intimidated Anton
No,
Chigurh.
no.
Think of it that way.
I played rugby when I was 9 years old until 26, until I started to get more or less known for the work I did in Spain, and then I was playing rugby and the ball was over there and they were hitting me in the face. And I said, hold on a second, man, the ball is over there, why are you hitting me? Then I realized it was time to quit.
In an interview, you won the Goya Award for Hamon Hamon, and I recall you saying that was strange to you. That here was really your first lead role in a film, and you're given this great honor, and you kind of started to question what this was all about.
Yeah, because to be recognized for something that is just so impulsive in a way, it was weird. It's like I always find. I mean, we all want to be recognized and we all want to be loved by everybody, but that's impossible. You have to come to a term to realize that you are not going to be loved by everybody. And once you take a step forward, some people are going to hate you, and some people are going to attack you, and some other are going to be with you. But what I'm saying this is, we all have that feeling of being, the need of being recognized. And the awards are kind of that thing that reminds you that. But at the same time, it's very, I always felt very insecure with the award situations, because it's like a bullet, I think. They can put it into your brain, because I don't think nobody is better than anybody else. I mean, if we do the same role, the same scene, with the same actor, by the same director, we all do it, then maybe there's a chance to say, okay, you did it better. But it's very absurd to say, no, you are the best this year. Like, why? Why? But, I mean, it's an honor, of course, but it's difficult. I mean, for me, it's always a moment where you enjoy it. That night, you get drunk with your friends, you celebrate it, and you put it in the closet, and you don't want to see it again.
So did you intend to keep on acting after this? Where you said you were hooked? Yeah.
Then little by little, I did another movie with the same director, which was called Golden Balls, which was basically a movie about a man having sex with a lot of women and
I'm noticing a theme with this director.
Yeah, I love that director. He's great. And and constructing a huge build, kind of a phallic figure of himself. And I love that. And that was scary, because that was really a protagonist. I mean, from beginning to the end, in every shot. And there I understood that movies, different from theater in somehow, is about energy and about how you put your energy and how able are you to really maintain the state of mind and the state of emotion for such a long day. Where you go to a place, it's like coitus interruptus. You go to a place, cut, and you have to maintain the same situation for the whole day, because the scene is not over. And I was exhausted, because I was giving it all at the first 2 takes. And then at the end of the day, it was like broken. And I said, I can't believe that tomorrow I have to do the same. So that was a good school for me to understand that movies is about being little, like not really sharing a lot of energy around, but being on your own thing and boom, like a shark. Like you go there and you come back to yourself.
So I have to imagine, after Hamon Hamon, did you have to audition for roles, or were the offers just coming to you?
After that, since I played these kind of macho man roles, which I'm very proud of them, and they were truly helpful, and I adore, I will always, Bigas Luna. But I saw the path going that way, so I don't want that for myself. So somehow I quit. Not quit, but I wait for 2 years. I start to work as a waiter, and we actors love being waiters, which I think is a good school, by the way. You meet a lot of people, a lot of weird characters there. that you dream one day to be able to perform them, because it's like, but yeah, I wait 2 years until something different will come up. And that happened 2 years after, which was a guy who was a junkie, heroin addict, in a movie that it was pretty good. And then I saw that a chance for me to really change the direction. And since that moment, I've always been with that in my mind, which is how to go from one thing to the other. I mean, instead of playing or portraying the same thing on and on.
During this time you took off, were you continuing to study acting?
Yeah, I actually go every year. I mean, since I started when I was, 19. I'm 38, so that's 19 years. My God. I go every year. There's a great acting coach called Juan Carlos Coraza from Argentina that actually I went to the school and I knocked the door and he opened the door. What do you want? So I want to learn. So yeah, but I haven't opened the school yet. How do you know? Well, a friend of mine told me that you were going to open school. Yeah, but there's nobody here. Okay, so come in a week. And then I was there and we were 3 people. Now there are hundreds.
Wow.
And I think it's the most amazing coach I ever worked with. And as much as I can, every time we can, we prepare the roles together. And I go every year there because I think it's the only way to really clean yourself and see some other people's work and how they approach to the work in a different way. And it's great to see young people, like teenagers, like how I was when I was 19, coming with the energy and with a point of view, and they really put you in a place where you have to change. You can, I mean, you have to be really open to learn. I love learning, and we need to go there and fuck it up. We need to go there and do it wrong without the pressure of knowing that you have to give a result. And it's the only way for me to find the joy, the pleasure of performing, much more than working in a professional way.
I think a lot of people, it takes them such a long time to find the right acting teacher. Mm-hmm. And how did you know that you had lucked into the right one?
Well, it's been almost 20 years together, so I've gone through all kind of states of mind with him. I mean, I adore him, I was like that, he was my God, then I have fights with him, then I was denying him, and now we are 2 grown-ups, and it's perfect. I mean, we love each other, and he knows me so well that he will go like that, and my machine will go like, you know.
So, of course, we have to address Before Night Falls, mm-hmm. which was a huge turning point in your career. Go ahead, sure. And here comes my first butchering of a name, Julian Schnabel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did I get that close to right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've been practicing.
Oh,
just so you know. Yeah. Thanks. He originally cast you in another role.
Yeah, he gave me the role that later on Olivier Martinez played, and I met him in New York on a coffee. I was there, and then this man comes to me and says, "I want to give you a role." I said, "Yeah, right." I was in vacation here in holidays in New York. I said, "Who is this guy?" And he told me, "Yeah, I saw your movies in Spain. This huge man with beard, you know, Julian, he's like bigger than life." I said, but then he called me and he gave me the script, and I said, "I'd love to do it, but I don't speak English, so no, I can't." And then he called me two weeks after, and he told me, "You're going to play Reynaldo, the main role." Wow. I said, "No, that's not going to happen. I mean, no, you have to. I want you to do it. I want you to fly to Cuba, to see it with your own eyes, to find Reynaldo's life there. Come back to me and tell me if you really don't want to do it." So I went to Cuba, and I was talking to people that met Reynaldo, and I came back and I said, "Okay, let's do it. I have to do this movie."
So he had originally cast you as Lazaro,
yeah,
I believe. Just trying to remember Oliver in the film. Mm-hmm. Was there a certain responsibility in playing a real person?
I think there's something easier and something more difficult. Easier in the way that if it's a contemporary person like Reynaldo or Ramon Sampedro in the scene side, you have a lot of documentary there, like a lot of video footage and books and people that actually met him that can help you to find the tone, the key of that person. the responsibility, the difficult part is that there is a lot of people that loved that person, and you don't want to let them down. I mean, and you have to really work harder even to really grab the essence of that person so everybody can be fine with it.
I'm really curious about Julian approaching you. This was just on the street?
Yeah, on that coffee.
Okay.
On a bar.
Were you going to meet him, or he
No,
just...
I was there. I was there because San Sebastian Film Festival was doing kind of a cocktail, and he was there. I went to see there some friends of mine, and he jumped on me and he said, "You're gonna do this?" And I said, "Well, yeah." It was kind of accidental. Yeah.
And can you talk about the process of learning English? Because I imagine the period between getting the role and shooting the film, there wasn't that much time.
No, it was a month.
Now I feel really bad for flunking Spanish.
No, I mean, I knew some lines because I always liked AC/DC, and I know
Sorry.
how to say "go to hell," all these things, and burning hell, and all these things. But that didn't help to do Reinaldo Arenas, so I said, okay, let's do it. I mean, and I work hard. We work, all of us work hard, and we put a dialect coach, and we also work on the accent, which is not the same as Spanish accent. Cuban accent is not the same. It's another music. It's beautiful, the Cuban accent. So it's not that I learn English with Cuban accent, which is... And then I realized there in that moment that how difficult it is to perform in a foreign language. Now I'm better because it's been 5 years and now more or less I have more experience in English. But in that moment it was impossible almost, because the whole goal of performing, which is to let yourself go and be free and be spontaneous and put the conscience away and just belong to that moment, in a foreign language that you don't talk, it's impossible, because there's always a judge here telling you, watch out the D, watch out the tone, here comes the stress word, stress it, hey, make a pause, hey, watch out that tone. It's like, and there's a guy there that is impossible, that is making your life miserable, and you're fighting with it, and at the same time you're pretending to be free, but you're not, because there's a guy, it's very schizophrenic kind of thing. So yeah, that's very weird for me, and now I'm more capable of doing it, but it's hard.
Did you have much time to prepare for the role, considering that you're trying to learn English? Were you also researching the character, studying?
No, in that experience I learned about my limits, because I had a month to know who that guy was, to learn the English, to learn the Cuban accent into Spanish, which is not the same, to lose like 15 kilos, which I don't know how many pounds is that, I don't know, 40 pounds, I don't know. Thank you. And to do a character, and it was, and there was a moment where I said, no, this is not going to happen. This is crazy. This is wrong. But I was 30, and then I had the energy and I had the passion. And I guess if you have the energy and the passion and that you really love what you do, you achieve it.
And can you sort of talk about working with Julian? Because I know he has a painting background as well, and you joked earlier that you don't always get along with directors, but you got along pretty well with him.
No, I usually get along with directors. I've been working almost 20 years now. I only have a couple of moments where a director tells you exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it. And you just say, why do you call me, man? Why don't you do it yourself? No, I mean, yeah, right? I guess you saw something in my previous work that tells you, hey, this guy could do it well, so why don't you let me try? I mean, but working with Julian is completely, I don't know, indescribable. I mean, he's an artist, he's a painter, he's a man with a vision, and you go there and you don't know what he's going to shoot. And you go there and the scene was supposed to be here and you and I talking, and he says, no, let's go over there and let's do it on the roof, and while you're singing and dancing, and we surround you with 100 people screaming at you. And you go, all right, which is good, but it's great. I mean, that's great, but you have to really be in character 24 hours and know exactly how your character is going to react to any kind of circumstances, because he's going to ask you that. And that's good. That makes you really learn a lot about the character.
It's there are moments that are so grueling in the film. I'm curious, what was the hardest scene for you to shoot, either from a technical standpoint or an emotional standpoint?
Oh, I loved Johnny Depp ass. That was good. You saw? I was there on the set, and he was laying down like that. I don't know. Those who saw the movie will know what I'm talking about. He's playing a travestian. Travestian?
That's right, yeah.
And I saw that ass, and I said, wow, that's a great ass. That's Johnny Depp. I said, well, whatever. That's a great ass, man. And he's a nice man. He's so funny. He's nice. I love the scene with him when he's the lieutenant, the interrogation scene. I love that. I really had fun with that. He was so nice and at the same time so brutal in the scene. I don't know. I like everything. I mean, everything was so alive, so happening there, right in that moment, because there were nothing to prepare, because you don't know what's going to happen. Not even Julian. I mean, nobody knew what we were going to shoot. So everything was really alive.
I want to talk about near the end of the film, the death scenes. Those are so amazing. Is that something that you take home with you at the end of the day, or can you leave your work behind?
Well, in that moment, I was very depressed because I asked Julian, I only ask you a favor, man, put the dying scene at the very end. When we all, the crew, knew about Ronaldo, loved Ronaldo, and it will be a nice bye-bye to Ronaldo. And so the whole energy of that day was really powerful. And the coach, the sofa where I'm standing, is the real one where he died. And something happened, which is we were shooting in a very small apartment in New York, and there were a library with books. And then nobody was in the room. I was doing my thing there, trying to calm down and breathe and stay relaxed and on the sofa. And one book fell, pluck. Oh. And nobody was there. It was just me and people walking around. So, okay. I went there, and it felt like that, so it was open. It was right open in the same place with the same poetry that Lázaro reads to me at the very end. It was a Ronaldo book, and I said, okay, he's here, man. He's here, and it's a nice poetry about saying goodbye, and I guess I was taken by that. It's like, okay, just relax yourself. It's bigger than what you can ever try to achieve. Just relax. He will do the rest. And you go there, and he did. He did it. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in spirits. I don't believe in magic. I don't believe in that. But things happen, and you have to surrender to the fact. And that was one of those.
How do you feel when you saw the performance?
Well, Julian knows this. I call my therapist. It was 2 a.m. Spanish time, because I saw it on the screen, and I said I quit. So that's how miserable I felt, because I gave so much. I went really so far and so inside of me, places where I didn't really know that I had or something, that you feel that you give it all, but no. I mean, it's fine, it's okay, but it's not there. And you have to learn that. I learned that in that movie, which is one different thing is what you feel you've done, and some other different thing is what the camera got. And that's always two different things. And then it was the first time where I felt I gave it all, I gave my life for this, but it wasn't there. Now, years after, I can look at it and go, that's not bad. That's okay. That is all right, more or less. But at the first moment, it was like, no. I mean, if that's bad. I mean, this was supposed to be much better, more real, more. But that's what the movies are. Movies is not about it's not only about your work. It's about a lot of work of a lot of people, and I don't know. The camera does their own job, and maybe you feel great doing one scene, but the camera is in a place where they don't see it. or maybe you are the disaster of an actor and you are really the worst actor ever born, but the camera is in the right place and the music works, man. So that's what the movies are, no?
So after seeing this and saying, I quit, at what point did you
But this is
come
serious. I
down
mean,
from
I
it?
really, Julian had a 5-hour conversation with me saying, man, you have a problem. And saying, yeah, I know. I never liked what I did because I think the need of performing is not the same. It doesn't have anything to do with the need of watching your performance. We need an audience to do our job. I cannot perform for myself. That would be too boring. I mean, I need somebody to do my job. And I think that the ego in that moment works for all of us to be brave enough to put ourselves in front of a camera or on stage and say, what the hell? I'm worth to be watched and listened. But once you are there in front of the camera or on stage, put that ego away and let the character come into you. Because otherwise you're going to put yourself always in front of the character, thinking that you are more interesting to be watched than the character itself. Which means when I see the movie or when I see my work, it's something I don't want to watch because I have the need of doing that. But now it doesn't belong to me anymore. I mean, people put it together, they work with it, they play with it, and that's not my job anymore. So when I first saw that in Before Night Falls, being that movie so important for me, I was really like, I don't want to do this anymore. But then they gave me a nomination, which is weird. That's the thing. Like, why? I mean, that was. I'm not pretending. It's really like being a foreign actor, Spanish actor, first movie in English, and this whole thing happened. I was like, wow. It took me a while to really be able to just breathe and take it. It was pretty much, I don't know, like I felt miserable because it's like, hold on, I want to stop everything and say, listen, no, this job is not well done. You should have seen me doing on my room. That was good. But then the movie is what it is, and now I'm so proud of that movie. And I'm proud of the work because I'm proud of every work I've done. And we should be proud of everything we do because even the wrong ones, especially the wrong ones, are the ones to be learned, to learn from. Because we are what we are because of the experience we have on our backs. And it's great to go there and do it wrong. And because then you realize that you are human and you don't know anything. And then you have to try every time to really achieve something. Otherwise, you just relax.
So maybe it's a good thing you didn't win the Oscar because I'd like to see that speech. Yeah. You messed up. So you didn't really quit acting then?
No.
Okay.
No, because then it comes to a moment, I guess a lot of people feel the same, where you go, I quit. Oh my God, what do I know to do? Okay, I'll get back. I'm an actor.
I wanted to ask you earlier, when you quit for a while to wait tables, did people recognize you?
No.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, some of them, but they won't care. I mean, no, it was not that big thing, no.
So you talked about, this was a very grueling performance, and you talked about limits, but then in 2004, you starred in the real life story of Ramon San Pedro, a Spanish ship mechanic who was left quadriplegic after a diving accident with the sea inside. This film went on to win the Oscar for Best Foreign Film. You also won a Goya Award for Best Actor. But on the page, that's a tough sell. What drew you to the project?
The impossibility of it, like when Alejandro Amenábar, which I think he's a genius. I mean, I truly think he's 32 and he directs, writes, composes the music. I mean, produces, and it's impossible. It's like he's the nicest guy ever, and you go, what's wrong? I mean, you should have any kind of flaw. and the great thing is that he really doesn't pretend anything. He's very simple. When he gave me the offer, I said, this man is 55 years old. I'm 30, I was 35. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, but then he told me, why don't you just take a look at the video footage? I knew who he was because he was quite popular, because what he did in Spain. I saw it and it grabbed my heart. Like it's like the guy grabbed my heart and pulled me in. And I said, okay, I have to do this. I mean, and from there, once again, like Reinaldo Arenas, you come to a place where you lose yourself. You go to a place where you say, okay, which is one of the great things about our job, how good and relief is to lose ourselves and put ourselves away from a little while and be somebody else. Because it's great. I mean, the only character that I don't know how to portray is myself. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he walks or looks. So it's great to go there and be somebody else. And if you're lucky enough to be somebody like Ramon San Pedro, which gave his life for us to understand something, which is about freedom. You spend like 2 months of research, 3 months of shooting, and even the promoting period of talking about the movie afterwards, embracing somebody that is doing good to yourself, that is really making you learn a lot about yourself and about all of us. That's also one of the great qualities of our work, which is to, if you're lucky to really embody somebody that it's that pure, you are a little bit more pure afterwards, I think.
Can you talk about the physical transformation? Because it's just amazing. And you were 20 years younger than he was at the time. I mean, how many makeup tests did you have to go through, shaving the head?
Yeah, that was 5 hours every day of makeup. And that was a lot. And then I had every kind of a state of mind with it, which is, because I said I spent 3 months on the bed, because I was there at 4 o'clock in the morning. You go there, you lie down on a special bed they put for you. 5 hours, you're not able to move, because the makeup is perfect, but you have to really not be able to move, even not to talk, here and there, one cigarette, but then you go directly to the bed to shoot. Then you shoot 10 hours, 12 hours. Then you wrap and you go back home to sleep, to the bed.
Back to bed.
Yeah. So you spend 3 months on the bed. And those 5 hours of makeup, sometimes I have a hard moment with it, but then I start to understand unconsciously, involuntarily, his mood, because I felt completely trapped. Like, how in the world cannot I move? Cannot you do your job of makeup and me moving? Come on, let me breathe, let me be, and that's exactly what happened with him. And then in a subconscious way, I really start to understand him and the pain of being trapped in a body, and that helped me a lot, actually.
We have a question from Julian that I think words it better than I would have. Wants to know what kind of preparation was involved for the sea inside, and there were a lot of takes to get down those scenes?
Well, there were not many takes, though. I mean, one of the things that also drive me crazy is that you go there were long scenes with dialogue, and then you start to say the lines, you start to get into the place, into the mood. Cut, we have to retouch the makeup. And you go, oh my God. It was always like that. I mean, Joe Allen, the makeup artist, did a great job. I mean, but it was tough, it was difficult. So those moments were hard, where you cannot really let yourself go, because there's always one moment where they have to stop and retouch for 40 minutes. And that was hard to maintain the state of, that was exhausting, because you were not able to really achieve a whole scene. You're just trying to achieve lines, and that was hard. But no, I think it was easy in the sense of being that man. That being that man is great, because he was such a pure soul and such a great human being, so talented, so smart, so poet, so subtle, that really ask you to be that way for 3 months, and then you feel fine with yourself.
So it was a good place to be in mentally, because
Totally.
I think a lot of people would think it would be depressing.
No, beyond that, every time they say cat, we were having fun a lot in the set. It was, we really need to release the tension, and I don't remember that having as a hard experience at all. I remember that being actually the opposite, a great fun experience with very hard moments in it, which has to do with the whole physical preparation.
And are you able to take things from playing these characters, and or I should say people, playing someone like Ramon? Do you still like think of that in daily life, or?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't stay with you as long as you would like it to stay with you. But yeah, there are things there that remind you that once you were in someplace else, really emotionally and through the experience, and that place taught you some things, don't put your back on it, and remind yourself that once you thought about death, for example, in a different way. And don't be scared of death now as you were before doing that role, because that role showed you that death is scary, but sometimes death is also a way to let yourself, I don't know, I'm not saying that I'm gonna kill myself every time I have a problem, but it's like to lose the fear of it, to lose the sensation of death as something that is gonna happen whether we like it or not. And you have to take it.
Speaking of death,
Yeah.
let's talk about No Country for Old Men.
All right.
You were a fan of the Coen brothers. In fact, Fargo
Yeah.
had a really big impact on you, didn't it?
Yeah. I have to say that Spain is one of the countries in the world where most people go to see Coen Brothers movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I like
true.
Spain.
And I was a huge fan. I mean, when the first time I saw Blood Simple, so I went to Toronto Film Festival before Night Falls, and then I met my agent, and she asked me who would you like to work with, and I said the Coens, and she said that's not going to happen next. And I said, why? And I said, because they do really deeply American movies, and it's true, they are very good in portraying these kind of deep American societies in somehow. So there's no room for a foreign actor there, but this miracle happened, and I was amazed. So I read the script, I didn't understand any word. I said, what's all of this about? I read the book of Cormac McCarthy, it was even worse. I said, what is this about? I don't get it. I mean, I like the book, I think it's a great piece of work, but this is really something that I don't get. I went to see the Coens, they were just laughing, ha 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 ha. I said, I was doing my pain in the ass actor routine of throwing questions on, and they were not answering anyone. They were,
Really?
they were
What
just
sort of
laughing.
questions?
No, like where the guy comes from, what the guy wants, how is his mommy and daddy, and
Dead is my guess.
yeah. And then I realized that I said, I have to do this because it's so up in the air. Everything is so wide open to any kind of interpretation, especially physically. That's the challenge, to create a killing machine into a human being and remind people that they are seeing a man rather than a machine, that he has blood instead of cables, but at the same time without losing the sense of him being kind of a symbolic idea of violence itself. So that was the challenging thing.
I read somewhere that you, one of the times I think you quit or were thinking of quitting, you went and saw Fargo. And that really inspired you to keep going.
Totally, and I think it's a masterpiece, but an excuse, I have a problem with English names. I don't know the name of the actor who played Frances' husband.
Oh, John Carroll Lynch? Yeah.
I mean, there's a scene where he's sleeping, and he wakes up while he's watching TV, and he says, I'm going to prepare the breakfast for you. I think that's one of the most beautiful moments that I've seen ever on an actor. And that's what I mean about the Coens. They can really protect everybody's work in a way that if it's there, people is gonna see it. They're gonna make sure that if you did it, they're gonna see it, don't worry. And also is the responsibility of trying to make that moment happen in order to be there. because you know then that if it's there, they're gonna take care of it.
So again, this wasn't an audition situation. You just get a call out of the blue, and how do you react to that?
No, I was amazed because truly the Coens are for me, and now working with them, it's even more because they are great guys, funny, very careful. They don't give a lot of direction, but they are there for any kind of questions you have. And I give up because I can be very insistent with the questions, but then I realized this is not about really getting the answers. This is really about finding the answers there, shooting for everybody, for them both and for me.
Now, I know you have problems with violence, and so this was it's sort of ironic you would take on this role. Ooh, is it Fabio? Okay, has a question here. You once said, "I'd rather make a movie in which I make love to 1,000 men than being in one in which I kill a lot of people." Mm-hmm. So what convinced you?
Did I say that?
Did you? Well, that was my first question. Did you find that on the? I never trust anything I read on the internet. So
Well, I did. I did both actually. Before Night Falls, had sex with a lot of people. We could not put all of them in the movie, but in the book there are like 600 or something. And I kill a lot of people. The thing with violence is that it's true that I think it's a cultural thing. In Europe, I think we don't have the problems that they may have here with sex. I'm not saying that it's worse or better. I think that's the way it is. People are less shy about showing it or even doing it. But when the moment comes where you have to hold a gun, people get like, okay, do we really need to do this? Why? It's gonna tell something, it's gonna add something to the story. When here, people is killed all over and that's okay. But if you wanna see one teeth or one ass, here comes the big issue, which I don't get. But I did a movie called Perdita Durango in '96 when I was eating people alive. So I was pretty wild in that one. And I did it, I had fun, I loved Alex de la Iglesia, but I said, I don't want to do this again. It's very violent for yourself to do those kind of roles. And that was 11 years ago. And then this movie came, and that's why I have so much reservations. That's why I went to see the Coens and I say, why? But then I read the book and I saw the whole philosophy behind it. There's a guy who's talking about violence in a way that is really making us think about the nonsense, the unstoppable, the lack of meaning of of this violence at all. And I like that. And then I say, well, it's not that you're going to portray a violent person, you're going to portray violence itself. And I like that idea. And yes, it's wild, and I don't think I would like to do that again.
I want to talk about the look for Chigurh, specifically because I know in the book he's only described as having very bright blue eyes, and I think that's pretty much all they say about him. So where did you come up with, was it a collaboration? Yeah. Let's start with the hair. Where did that come from?
That's based on a Tommy Lee Jones idea. Great guy. Come on. No, what I'm saying is, that was my hair. I have to live with that for 3 months. So it's not a week, that was my hair. And so he brought a book to the Coens about places in New Mexico and Texas back in the 70s where they were kind of dark places like whorehouses, bars. And apparently some customers were wearing that haircut. And the Coens thought it was a good idea. And they cut my hair that way. I was on the makeup trailer, and there was no mirror. Paul, the hairdresser, who did a great job, yeah, right, was doing the thing, and I was reading the magazine or whatever, and then I saw the Coens laughing their asses off. Ethan almost falling into the floor, like, so what's wrong? And then I look at myself in the mirror, and it was like, wow, all right. We got it. I mean, I think we got it. I thought I'm gonna be miserable for 3 months, but we got it. I think it's a good choice. It's a good choice.
Well, it's sort of he's sort of out of place
in
time.
Totally, and also it gives you this kind of mechanical, almost mathematical sensation of a man who's always on his duty of putting things in order. No, like clack, clack, clack. Everything has to be falling into place, but at the same time funny. But at the same time insane, out of sync. Like he's not wearing something that belongs to the time, he's wearing something else, which gives you this idea of a person who doesn't belong to where he is now. And I mean, it really helps you a lot to understand or create something from there.
Same thing with the wardrobe, was that, did they spend a lot of time on that, or?
That was pretty fast, because the same guy of the photograph was wearing that thing. So
really?
I'm playing that guy of the photo, actually. I don't know if that guy really exists. Still alive, I know. Yeah, we thought about the idea of playing this guy as a tree trunk, no? A person who, no matter how hard you hit, it never bends. It's like this idea of creating somebody that is really strong in statements. That's why I gained the weight, and I was quite pale, since he's not healthy, is strong but not muscular, kind of a very uncomfortable image to watch, but also threatening because he has to be a really powerful presence in order for a person when first look at him get scared of. No?
And what about the voice? Because they didn't ask you to lose the Spanish accent, but they wanted to sort of reduce it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the concern and my concern was to really get rid of the Spanish accent as much as we could, because otherwise it would be too close to the Mexican side in the movie. So, but I don't know. I worked with this great dialogue coach, Howard, and then I didn't know what voice to put on the character. But then one day I was rehearsing with him, and I was kind of cold, and I was just throwing the thing. I said, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I found myself comfortable with the language there. And I found the accent there. And I said, okay, now I'm in a place where the accent works. Let's see if this works for the character. And then we start to improvise with the dialect coach, doing some other circumstances. I do always that because I think it's funny. Like, how is the guy shopping? How is the guy going to a movie theater? I mean, to react like that. And then the whole thing worked. And say, okay, we got the voice.
Now, are you the kind of actor that has to stay in character between takes? Because I would like to see him shopping, actually.
Yeah. It's like what I was saying right in the beginning. It's not like you are that kind of actor. It's like in movies, it's impossible not to be that kind of actor. You have to really put yourself in a place where you cannot let that energy or that concentration go. You have to, and that's what's exhausting about doing movie making, which is the way of holding always the thing, holding always the horses, no? And then when they say action, let it go, and then hold them again, no? Because otherwise, you are exhausted and you're not going ever to achieve the end of the day.
And was it hard for you emotionally? Because I know you're the only foreign actor in the film in this strange land that is Texas, playing a very closed-off character. What was the atmosphere like on set for you?
They were great, but it's one of those things that works, like they ask you, this character really affected you? And you say, no, I didn't kill anybody while I was in Santa Fe.
Only when you were in Santa Fe?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in Texas. But it's true that those of you who saw the movie, you realize that we don't interact with each other. Joss and Tommy Lee and I, we don't have a scene. It's like I do my movie, Joss does his movie, and Tommy Lee Jones does his movie. And then the Coens put it together. So my movie was about a guy with that haircut, holding that weird thing, going 1-2 days per week to the shooting, killing people, going back to sleep. I say, what am I doing? I mean, what's this movie all about? But being in Santa Fe and Texas with that haircut, once again, which is something that when you go to the street, people go like that. And you're just nice, and you are try to be social and everything, but then you realize that you're a foreigner, you don't speak the language, you are weird looking, you don't know anybody there, you are in the middle of nowhere, so you start to get isolated. And then there was a moment where I felt like I spent like 3 days without leaving my apartment, because I had an apartment instead of a hotel. Like really like staring at the ceiling or something. I said, wow, now I'm fucked. I mean, now Chigurh is working on me in a funny way, which is not about killing people. It's about feeling isolated, like he is, and that's how character sometimes works on you. And Joss realized that, and he was really saving me from that. Really? He was taking me out, having a drink, and man, come on, man, walk, because it's not like you are like this. It's like you are fine, you are yourself, but there's something that you are emotionally detached from the world, because it's like you don't belong to them and they don't belong to you. And that's exactly what happened to Chigurh. And you realize that when you take your plane and you go back home to Spain, and you go, woof, what was that?
Couldn't you wear a hat? Or?
Yeah, but the problem is that I have to wear a net, a hairnet. Oh, really? So the thing has to be on place. So it was weird. It was bad. It was bad.
Just when it couldn't get any worse. There's There's one scene specifically I want to address. I've talked to you about this before, but it's when he goes to the trailer park to find Josh. And there's that great standoff with the trailer park manager where he keeps saying, where does he work?
Yeah.
And he never changes his tone, never, I'm curious if that's the way it was written, if you tried it different ways.
No, that's exactly the way it's written in the book and the script. And I have to say that it was the only day where I felt really scared of that woman. I said, well, we found what it could be probably Chigurh's wife, because she's really tough, man. She will be the only one who will make sure that Chigurh is on time to dinner at home. I mean, she was really funny, I mean, great actress, but really like, get out of here, get out.
Yeah.
And I felt like out of the character. Like, I mean, I was like, what Chigurh is supposed to do here? And the Coens were having a hell of a time there, and they were laughing and laughing and laughing. It's like, man, please, what do I do here? So I think that's on the scene, which is this kind of look like, who's this woman? Should I kill her? Should I not? I mean, how come? I mean, how do you dare to talk to me? But I gotta go. But who are you? I actually like you. I mean, this kind of thing is going on in that scene, no?
Yeah. The actress, her name's Kathy Lampkin.
Kathy.
She's actually in this week's Backstage, and she talks in detail about that scene, and she was scared out of her mind too.
Oh, yeah? All right. I love her haircut also, that wig.
Kind of a strange question, but as weird and perhaps sick as this is, people love this character. I mean, is that sort of strange to you, or do you just take it as a compliment?
I don't know. I mean, I like it. I mean, I guess the movie is a pretty good movie, and it gets to the people, and he's insane character. I mean, he's very violent, and I don't know, people seems to respond to that, and seems to have fun with him, and also being scared of him, which is the goal. The goal is to create somebody that is really kind of a threatened presence. And yes, I like that. That means that we did our job. But once again, in this case, more than ever, I think, movies, man. Movies, it's about a lot of things. I did my thing. Sometimes I was totally lost. I didn't know what to do. The accent is difficult to work in a foreign language and being precise. And when you have a character like Chigurh with those precise dialogues, you have to really understand the language in a very deep way, the music, the tone, the intonation, the meaning of the words, so you throw it like a bullet. Chum, chum. And if you don't deal with the language as good as you deal with your own language, that's a problem, because then you are losing the control of that. And in this case, sometimes I felt totally lost because sometimes I was too familiar. I was throwing my lines and I was too casual. No. Sometimes I was too focused. No. You have to find a place in the middle where he's like, what was that? I mean, he's a normal guy, but he's not. And I did my best, but it's the Coens, really, who choose the best parts. They put it together. They surround me with great actors doing great performances, showing you one of the things that is very important to remind us all the time, which is when you are playing a king, don't play a king. Make sure that people treat you like a king. So from the outside, you will be seen like a king. So like in the gas station, I'm not playing evil. It's the actor doing a great performance of being that scared that makes me be seen like an evil person. And that's what the Coens did. And so I think Chigurh, I did my thing, but the Coens really are the ones who put it together, thankfully, thank God, in a good way. And that also can happen in the wrong way. And in this case, that's why they are the Coens. So the whole scary part is not something that I did. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs this tiny part. It's about them creating that atmosphere, putting a scene like a gas station with no music, silence, that makes you feel like, oof, you know?
Now that's when you first saw it put together, how did you feel about that?
I said to Josh, well, that's a pretty good movie, man. I think we did it. I belong to a good Coen Brothers movie,
Yeah.
which for me is like a dream. I mean, I'm a Spanish actor, for Christ's sake. So it's like a dream.
Was it Joel or Ethan who referred to you as the Iberian Lee Van Cleef?
Joel. In Toronto, no? It was in
Yes,
Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah, that's how they introduced him, and you came out on stage kind of shaking your head and laughing. I guess you hadn't heard that one before.
No.
And you mentioned when you first met with them, you did have these annoying actor questions about what's this guy's backstory. Yeah. Did you ever answer those for yourself, or did you not want to know?
Yeah, I tried to. Once again, I prepared this with my acting coach, Juan Carlos, and we came to a moment where we both love to get lost in questions and get there and try different things. That's the funny part of it, and do something that is totally opposite to what the character should be, but just to try for the hell of it. But then we come to a point where we were like, this doesn't make any sense. Who cares? It's not about where he's coming from or where's he going to. He's a force of nature. He's an accident. He's a really violent accident that happened in this moment to all the characters. So let's try to embody violence into a human behavior without asking us why is that. It's like, that's the way it is, whether you like it or not. And that's exactly what he brings with him, which is this idea of, I am your fate, I am your destiny, and you have to face it, whether you like it or not. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's about something bigger than us. So call it.
I just got a little scared. You've worked with so many amazing directors, I mean, from Julian to the Coen brothers. What is it that when you show up for a set, you show up on the set that you hope for from a director?
Just being human and normal and cooperate with him and understand that we, the actors, are we are not special, come on, we are not that special, but we are kind of delicate. That's true. And about being delicate is not about we need bigger trailers or much more money or more agents. It's about respect what I do, and as long as you respect what I do, I will kill myself for you. At the moment when you don't respect what I do and you think that's easy to do, that's not important, it's just a guy moving around the furniture and throwing lines, then I feel hurt, I feel harmed. And then you want to be able to take out of me anything more than fear and insecurity. So thank God, most of them, 95% of the directors I work with, they know that. And they go in the journey with you, and then it's a pleasure. And I think we only need that. Those who goes there and are hard on you, these guys that think that because you have to play a very tension scene or sad scene, you have to be sad the whole day, and they make sure that you're gonna be sad because they're gonna tell you very sad stories or even something that is gonna accept you very much, like you're not going to be paid at the end of the week or something. Like, give me a break. I mean, I know how to get sad by myself. But I work with Milos Forman, I work with Amenábar, I work with Almodóvar, I work with the Coens, with Woody Allen. All of them in different ways, being the geniuses that they are, and they've done some masterpieces. All of them has the same quality, which is like normal people. They are normal. They don't pretend. They are like, I don't know, let's try. And that's the great thing.
Can you talk a little bit about how you choose your roles? And even, I believe, again, I never read anything I read on the internet, but you turned down the villain in the James Bond movie, World Is Not Enough. Mm-hmm. Just sort of curious about, what draws you to a role and what makes you say no.
I always thought that for a mediocre actor, as I am, no matter if I am here in front of you guys or not, it's very necessary to find a good role. A role that is complex, a role that is really demanding you a lot of sides of yourself, because then you can save your ass. A mediocre role with a mediocre actor is impossible. Yeah. A good role by a mediocre actor, more or less you can make your way out. And that's why you go, okay, that's impossible. I don't know if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to be able to achieve that. But I have places to hold on to. And I know that I'm going to be, instead of worry, I'm going to be really putting my attention in holding those things. So at the end, I don't know what's going to happen, but at least I'm on the process of working on finding. When if this linear kind of role, there's nothing to do there rather than being just nice and charming. And I'm not nice and charming. So it's like, so what I try to find is roles that are complex, roles that has any kind of a struggle or contradiction within, which is not the case of Chigurh, by the way. Chigurh is one of the most linear characters I ever played. That was the challenging also thing for me because I'm not used to that. It's like how you portray a man, which is the same from beginning to the end, with no changes, but also able to change everybody's life in his way, and not to be affected by those changes. That's the thing.
I have some questions from the audience, if you're up for it.
Sure.
So you're not nice and charming, is what you're. So you're acting right now, is what you're doing.
No,
this is all a performance.
I'm fine. I'm a good boy, but it's like when you are working and I mean you need a character that talks. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
John Cragen has a question. You're nearly unrecognizable in many of your roles, and how much of that do you bring to a project, and how much, if any, is directorial? And how much does your physical appearance influence your performance?
Well, once again, I think that where the words don't get and don't reach, the body does. And the way I'm sitting down here is telling you a lot about me because I'm much more relaxed than I was in the very beginning. And
are you still shaking?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So I think everybody really speaks a lot about themselves with the body language in a way that we prefer not to think of because it's telling a lot about ourselves. And I think that that's as important as the dialogue or the circumstances or the reality or the emotion itself. And beyond that, I think it's funny. And I think it's enjoyable to really find always something that is specific of that guy. And I usually try to find the character from that specific place where nobody knows, but one day you find it in a little detail about how he grabbed the glass or how he, I don't know, opened the water thing or how he lights a cigarette. Okay, let's go from there. Like, for example, Chigurh, I didn't know what to do. The haircut, and I said, okay, let's go. From there, you construct the whole thing. And I like it. It's not that you want to go there and exhibit your skills. It's like you find the reason of doing this job that we love so much in those little details. Is what bring us to what we do, which is we are just merely observers of the life out there, and we bring those people into our performances. That's what I think.
Kirk Alexander. Kirk Alexander over there. Okay, has a question. Congratulations on some amazing character work and a great film. Your character in this film was extremely intimidating, yet you managed to weave an awesome sense of humor that coexisted in this character. Can you talk about that?
No Country, right? No Country.
I hope it's not in Love in the Time of Cholera.
Yeah. Well, the humor was in the book and also in the script. But I never play it funny. I mean, actually, Woody Harrelson's character said about Chigurh, he's a man with no sense of humor. So I guess, once again, it's about the coins, how they put it together. That myself, when I first saw it, it was like, ha, that's funny. Yeah, how did it happen? I mean, I was playing serious there, but I was supposed to be threatened there, but I'm funny. What do you do with this? But that's why the coins are the coins. They are great in getting to a point where the whole thing gets really dark or really, I don't know how to say, serious. They put it there, and then you release yourself with it. I thought with a haircut, it was just enough for me to be funny. It's like, don't overact the haircut. Just disguise yourself in the haircut.
Brandon Johnson.
Brian Johnson.
Brandon Johnson? Right there.
Brian?
Brandon.
Okay.
Working on a film set can be filled with distractions, so how do you prevent, I love this term, mental leaks and strengthen your focus?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question, really. Because
I'm going to use that again. Thanks.
I don't know. I think it's important to really breathe and let yourself in a place where you are alone. And it's not about playing diva, but you really need to protect your work. And one thing that I learned here in the States is that they know that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, maybe I'm being lucky enough. But they really, here in this country, know the work of an actor in the sense of, do you need your place? I'm not saying because I work with the Coens, where the conditions are pretty good, but when I was doing the work with Julian Schnabel, which I could barely have a place like this small just to rest, I have the time to rest, and they know the importance of being in silence for a second. And usually when I'm shooting, I'm kind of serious, even if I'm playing a comedy or something, because otherwise I'm very easygoing in sharing the whole energy with people, because I want to have fun at the same time. But then I realized through the years that kills my work, because then I get exhausted and unfocused. And movies are about that, like, okay, we're ready, now, action. Excuse me, fuck, I was making jokes here. Oh shit, Chigurh. And then it's like, good. And then there's a director who says, good, that was great, print it. No. And that stays there forever. So because you don't want that again, you are like, okay. But sometimes that also goes against myself, because you are too, I don't know, overtaken or overwhelmed by yourself, like the importance of the moment. And in those moments, it's a balance. You have to really go there and release. I don't know, it's like to have an equilibrium between silence and also not to be too much isolated, because otherwise you are not human anymore. You are just an idea rather than a person who reacts to things.
This is silly, but I think it's funny, so I'm going to say it. John Petrelli thinks that there should be a sequel called No Country for Older Men. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. He's alive.
We have, I'm going to have to ask this because we have like 4 questions. People want to know about your upcoming project, specifically if Killing Pablo with Joe Carnahan is happening.
I don't know if it's going to happen or not, honestly. I mean, I love Joe Carnahan. I think he's a great guy. I think he has a great material. But once again, Pablo Escobar was, he was a really complex character. I mean, he was really cruel and really mean and really powerful. He paid the exterior debt of whole Colombia in a second, because he didn't want to be brought to States to be on trial. But at the same time, there are people in Colombia that these days goes Sundays, thousands of people to Mass to pray for him, because he did a lot for their country. So you want to see that. You want to make sure that the difference between a villain and Pablo Escobar is that Pablo Escobar is a huge, more deeply complex character, where you cannot label him that easy. Of course you can. I mean, he was really evil, but he was bigger than that. And I always talk to him about that, and he knows, and we are working on it. And once we find it, we'll hopefully do it. Also, with that strike situation, I don't know anything. I mean, things are up in the air, no?
You're also attached to do a movie musical, 9.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Have you sang before?
No.
So this is gonna learn to do that in a month too.
Yeah, I don't dance, I don't sing. It's totally absurd, but it's so out of what I've ever do that I want to do it.
Yeah. Is that a case of, did you have to audition for that, or is that just a meeting you took? Really?
Yeah, and the audition was pretty funny, actually. Because I don't like musicals.
Really?
I went to see this musical on Broadway with Antonio. It was in New York.
Yes.
I was amazed. I was amazed by the way he did it. I had also the gift, the privilege to talk to him afterwards on backstage, and I was blown away, because one thing is doing it in movies and one thing is going up there and do it twice per day or one per day. I was all my respect for that. But then my agent told me, you should go there and do the audition. I said, oh, come on. And I went there, I smoke a lot. And I don't like music. I love all that jazz. I love cabaret. But that's okay. Chicago is a pretty good movie, actually. Rob Marshall did it. And I went there and said, okay, let's sing. All right, let's go, let's go. And I was like, all right. But Paul, the guy, the composer, I don't know, the guy who, yeah, thank you. After 1 hour, I was singing like Frank Sinatra, man. I don't know what he did to me. I don't know what he did to me. I was like, oh, the frog. I was like, wow, that sounds good. And then I said, that's funny. And they said, yeah, that's the whole point, to have to enjoy.
Yeah.
I said, all right. So I thought about it. And then I said, it's so absurd that it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. We have a question from Lisa Clifton. What have you learned about acting and the business that you wish you'd known when you were starting?
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. What if? I don't know. I wish I learned things that I prefer not to have learned, I guess, more than I wish I've learned before. Because the whole business part is the sad and the problematic part of it all. About achievement. Being responsible, doing things that are seen by a lot of people, respond to a lot of demands. There's a whole thing going on there that doesn't have to do with your job, but at the same time, it's part of your job. I guess I've learned, I don't know. I'm pretty much the same, since in the sense of the way I look my work and the way I want to keep on going in the same direction. Yes, I'm pretty much the same that I was when I was 19 years old. My situation is not the same. And what I'm trying to find is pull always myself out of that. That's an accident that happened to me, a good one, but an accident. And that's not me. That's what my work brings with it. But my passion, my pleasure is keep on doing the same thing if I can. So I haven't answered you what you wanted, but basically I haven't learned anything that I said, ooh, I wish I would have known that.
Some of those times when you thought about leaving the business, because I think probably everyone here in this room has considered that at least once in their career.
I'm the actor.
Yeah. What was it that brought you back or helped you through those times?
The fact that you don't love anything else but performing. The fact that you go there and you see a play and you see a movie and you see somebody doing what you're doing one day, that you will like to do one day, like, I don't know, like a performance that you go, how did he do that? You know what? I think I know how he do that, and I want to try myself. And you say, where are the scripts? Where is the thing? I have to go there and have the pleasure of trying to achieve that. And the love of what we do, for what we do. And also the fact that I don't know to do anything else, which is true.
Well, we're so glad you stuck around. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank all of you.
Thank you very much.